So I haven't read a single book of my September TBR yet, and I'm 10 books behind schedule on my Goodreads goal, so let's do another 24-hour readathon. DNFs. This is so bad, like so bad. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name's Bree. Stay for a while. So I haven't read a single book off my September TBR yet. They're all here. I'm in the middle of one, but the rest I haven't even looked at. I haven't even thought about reading. We need to get some reading done, and I need to get through my September TBR because there's some amazing books on my TBR this month and I need to get to them. So we're dedicating this video to getting through my September physical TBR. I'm hoping to get like 4 or 5 books done. I'm in the middle of one, and then if you can get another 4 done, that's 5 out of 8 books ticked off my September TBR. Now obviously I've done a few of these 24 readathons on my channel before, but today we're going to be doing 12 hours today and then 12 hours tomorrow, which adds up to 24 hours. Obviously that's what we're going to be doing today. I was going to do it 24 hours straight. I've only just got my sleeping pattern back on track because my sleeping pattern was ass backwards when I was on annual leave, and now I'm back in work. I need my sleeping pattern to stay on track, so we're going to be doing 12 hours today and then 12 hours tomorrow. It's currently 11:30. We're going to start this at 12 p.m. and we're going to read until 12 a.m. tonight, and then I'm going to have my sleep, and then we'll wake up tomorrow and we'll do another 12 hours. Before we get into the video, I just want to talk about my jewellery, like how stunning my new jewellery. Beautiful Earth Boutique ever so kindly sent me over some pieces and I want to show you guys. So I wanted to up my jewellery game for so long, but every time I want to treat myself, I just buy myself books, and I never treat myself on any nice things like new clothes, new jewellery. It's always books, so I always end up just buying cheap jewellery off the high street, which really irritate my skin. They turn my skin green. My ears get really like crusty and dusty and it's disgusting. But ever since I received these pieces 3 days ago, they haven't been off my body and I haven't had any irritation, especially from my earrings, which is the main thing I was looking for. I haven't had no irritation. My fingers hasn't turned green, my wrists haven't turned green. Like, honestly, I've had no issues with these pieces whatsoever. Beautiful Earth Boutique is all about fair pricing, so you can buy stunning pieces without the giant price tag. You also get 1 year warranty with all your pieces, and you get free shipping plus stress-free returns. And as I've already mentioned, I haven't had any reactions from these pieces, and I'm a sensitive skin girly. I really struggle with some metals and stuff, and I haven't had any reactions, and that's because all of their pieces, site-wide, every single piece is hypoallergenic. So for my sensitive skin girlies, these are the pieces for you. So I got 5 new pieces. I got 1 necklace, a set of earrings, I got 2 rings and a new bracelet as well. I got all my items in gold because I'm a gold girly. I'm not too much of a silver girly. They have got the option of either silver or gold, but I went for the gold option because I'm a gold girly. But I got the vintage gold letter necklace with obviously the letter B on it, the Lighlark gold twist earrings, but they're in the huggy style because there's nothing worse than having things stabbing you in the back of your ears when you're trying to sleep. I have the Forever Love heart bracelet, but it's the adjustable one because having adjustable jewellery is really important for my teeny tiny wrists, otherwise they'll be falling off. And then I've got the twisted infinity ring, which I absolutely love. Probably one of my favourite pieces. Also got the Layered Sahara gold ring, which again is one of my favourite pieces. I just love these rings so much, like with the white, and it all ties in with like my bracelet and the white in my necklace as well. Now if you want to get yourself some of these beautiful pieces, or you want to get something else from the website, then I've got a discount code for you for 25% off. You can use code 325OFF to get your 25% off. Happy shopping, and let's get into the video. Now before we start reading, let's go through my TBR. So I'm currently in the middle of the fake out. Well, I say in the middle, I'm 147 pages in, so I'm about a quarter of the way through, just over a quarter of the way through. So this is, we're going to be finishing this in this video, but I'm also reading this for another video as well, so I'm not going to speak too much about it in this video, but we are going to finish it in this video, and you might see some like crossover of clips in an upcoming video I've got. I'm filming so many videos right now and I'm reading so many books at once that I need to cross over some videos, otherwise I'm not going to get anything posted. And then a second book on my TBR this month was Daydream, but I'm not going to be reading this. I'm reading this for a video I've got coming up where I read my new releases, so this is not going to be read. And then we got Binding 13, which is a 800 pages. Is it 800? It is 801. I don't think we'll read this today because this would take up the whole video if I read this, and I might read this in another video, maybe. We'll see. That's all about romance. So it looks like we're going to be reading a bunch of fantasy books. So we got Dawn of the Onyx, which I think I might give this a go. This kind of intrigues me, and it's quite short and sweet. It's not too long, just over 400 pages, which is the perfect length for a 24-hour readathon. And then we got Bride of the Shadow King, which again is a potential because it's quite short and sweet. I feel like a lot of these are quite short. I haven't got any big books and other than that Binding 13, so I could potentially get through a big bulk of these, to be fair. But I am really excited for this. But it's also like the first in a book series, and I'm like, ugh, I'm in the middle of so many book series right now. I can't get in the middle of any, but the majority of these are the start of a book series, so what are we gonna do about it? And then we got Six of Crows, which I really want to read this. Like, I want to read this video. This is a definitely that we are reading this video. Oh no, actually we're not going to be reading it this video because I need to read the Shadow and Bone trilogy, because in my last video, what was my last video I did? My fall TBR. A bunch of you commented to say that I should read the Shadow and Bone trilogy before I read Six of Crows and Rule of Wolves duology as well. Someone commented saying that if I just wanted to read Six of Crows duology, then that's fine. I don't have to read Shadow and Bone, but they said I have to read Shadow and Bone if I want to read Rule of Wolves as well. So I'm doing the full Grishaverse universe, so I think we're not going to get to this. We're going to read the Shadow and Bone, so I think I might download it on my Kindle because I don't own the physical copy. And then we got What Lies Behind the Veil. Now I'm very skeptical about this. I was really excited to read it because my friend Danny, which you've all met before, has read it. She read it a while ago, but then she said she tried to reread it and she didn't enjoy it as much because her reading style changed. And me and Danny we're quite similar in our reading style, but we're also very different. Like, Danny can read a lot of like smutty books with no plot, and she can enjoy a book with no plot, but I always need that plot. And she said that this is very spicy and she doesn't think that I'm personally going to enjoy it, so I'm quite skeptical about this, but I am going to give it a go. And then we got Lighlark, which I do really want to try and get to this readathon. I've got FOMO. I've got so much FOMO with this. Like, I really want to read this because the third book is coming out soon. Don't know when, but I do know that there is a third book coming out. It might be early next year, not 100% sure. So that was my September TBR, and this is basically just going to be a fantasy readathon, so let's get into the video. We're starting 2.5 hours later than expected, so let's get to reading. Into this 24-hour readathon. I've decided to read on my iPad because I've been reading so much quicker on my iPad. I bought my iPad about 3 weeks ago and I've just been reading everything on my iPad because you can go on landscape and then brings up like 2 pages. My Kindle is currently dead and I haven't charged it because I've just been reading on this. I feel sorry for my Kindle and my physical books because this has now taken over my reading experience. I'm gonna try and do the math to see in the last hour how much I've read. There's no way. I've read 110 pages in the last hour, but it's been just over an hour, but in the last like hour and 10 minutes I've read 110 pages. That's how fast I read with this. Like, it's insane. This is quite an easy book to read because there's a lot of spice. A lot of spice. And if you read the first book, well, if you watched my last 24-hour readathon, I read the first one in my 24-hour readathon and I said that there was a lot of spice in that, but there is so much spice. Like, so much spice. I've been skimming a lot of it, so that's probably why I'm loving this. Like, it's so good. It's like a 4-star right now. That's just sitting there. Like, the connection between them. I'm loving this one more than the first one. I can't remember where I rated the first one. I think that was a 4-star as well. And this is currently sitting at like a 4-star, maybe like a 4.25. The love that Rory feels for Hazel guys, the sweetest, needs to be protected at all costs. Like, he is the sweetest man. Okay, so there's 160 pages left, so I'm gonna tackle these 160 pages and then I'll pick you back up when I'm done. I really hope there's no third act breakup in this. So I actually did my math. I jumped on camera. I finished this in 2 hours and 48 minutes. I haven't done the whole math actually. I should have counted the pages as well. So I read 273 pages in 2 hours and 48 minutes, which is actually quite good. But I'm not going to speak too much about this other than I loved it, because obviously, as I mentioned, this is more for another video. So I'm not going to speak too much about it other than I loved it. Like, the banter between Rory and Hazel is unmatched, and Rory needs to be protected at all costs. Like, rating wise, I think like 4.5. It could easily be a 5-star, I'm not gonna lie. There was just so much spice. But it's now time to read something else, and I don't know what I want to read. Obviously, we're not going to be reading Daydream, Binding 13. So we got Dawn of Onyx, Bride of the Shadow King, Six of Crows. That's going to be Shadow and Bone book 1. What Lies Beyond the Veil, or Lighlark. I don't know what I want to read. I think I'm gonna go with this. I've read the first few pages and it actually sounds really good. So I think they're like humans. Then you have like an invasion of the Fae, like threatening to invade their kingdom. And then you have an arranged marriage between 2 kingdoms. Oh, but I don't think this king, he's the Shadow King, is human. Though not eager to take a human bride, King Vo is willing to do what is necessary. When he meets the lively princess Ilsevel, can't say that, he quickly agrees to a marriage arrangement. So why can't he get the haunting eyes of her oldest sister out of his head? I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, let's go with this. First bit of a fantasy book is always so hard, like the first 100 pages. We love a shadow wielding man. Any man that can wield shadows is a man for me. They have like flaming unicorns. I can't picture it. The unicorns have like flames coming out of them. Have no fear, my lady. She's got this like crystal around her neck, and I don't know what it is. I think it gives her some sort of power, but I'm not sure what power it is. I think she can like sense people's feelings and like give feelings to someone. Like, she can change people's emotions, because it says, I tried to send something back through that connection, some small measure of calm I just experienced. So yeah, I think she can like, if she's like touching someone, I think she can change their emotions or like influence their emotions in some way. But I think it's got something to do with that necklace. The Shadow King. I'm not gonna lie, I need to search up, there needs to be some sort of like, how do you say these names? Is there like a glossary? Guys, I'm DNFing. This is so bad, like so bad. 159 pages into this and nothing has happened. Like nothing. It's so boring. I do not want to waste my time reading this. I don't even understand what's happening. the way they speak is really like weird. Like it's really hard to decipher the way they speak. I think one thing I just can't get past it is Vo, our male main character. He's a troll and he's described as like this blue skinned man, and I can't get past that. When I picture a troll, I just picture this like I don't know, I'll put something on the screen of what I picture him like, and I can't get past that. I need to be able to like really fancy the male main character. I need to find him hot. I need to be able to envision myself as the male main character, no, as the female main character, and I can't in this. He's a troll, and I think just in general this whole book is just icky. DNFing a book is like a feeling, and that's what I'm feeling. Once I get that DNF in my head, I can't move past it. Like I can't, and I've given this a fair chance, so bye bye. Now it's time to think of what I want to read next, because we've got 17 hours and 22 minutes left on the timer. We need to read 12 hours today, so it's currently 9:30, because obviously we started a bit later than expected because I had some car issues that we're not going to talk about. We're 17:22. Let me do my math. Okay, we go read until 2:30 in the morning, and then that would have been 12 hours. Okay, we've got this. We have got this. Page 4, and this is already 10 times better. Oh my god, I thought there was a spider on my wall. It's just a shadow, but this is already 10 times better. Like it's reading so much better. Like the writing 10 times better. Like a shot every time I say better. Oh, she's got powers. I thought she was human. Oh no, she's got healing abilities. She's like a healer. So obviously it's the next day. I fell asleep last night. I fell asleep with 15 hours left. I think I fell asleep for about 11:30. I think I got up to page like 60 or something like that. Where did I start? You would have seen me start this morning. I started on it was bang on 60, chapter 5, and I've read up to 132 this morning. I literally opened my eyes. I slept for about 10 hours last night, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's because I've been working like 14-hour shifts, like back to back, and like waking up at 6 AM for the last week, so I'm exhausted, so I needed that good sleep. But we've got 15 hours left today. I think we started with about 15 and a half hours, and we've now got 13, just under 14 hours left on the timer. So I think that's going to take us up to like 12 AM roughly. So we've got a good day of just reading today. So I've got myself my coffee, which is a hot coffee because it's way too cold for an iced coffee, and we're going to continue reading. I didn't know what to expect from this. Like I honestly didn't. At one point there's like this guy follows Arwen, and Arwen gets captured. I wonder if Kate is Welsh. I think she might be Welsh because there's a lot of Welsh names in here, like Garrett, Arwen, I don't know, there's some other Welsh names. And the map, that is the map of Wales. I'm gonna search up if she's Welsh. I think she might be, but it follows Arwen, and Arwen is captured by the soldiers of the Onyx King. There's a war going on currently where she lives, in between her kingdom and the Onyx Kingdom, and the Onyx King is meant to be like this feared king by all. Her brother is one of the soldiers for her kingdom, and he steals from the Onyx King. He goes back and they're about to flee, Arwen and the brother and the family. They're about to flee, but she has to go back to get her mother's like healing stuff. So she goes back to the house. All of the Onyx soldiers are there waiting. She trades her life for her brothers, and she says, take me because I'm a healer. So she trades her life for her brothers, and she's taken to the Onyx King's castle. And when she's there, obviously she gets put into a dungeon, but when she's there, there's this guy next to her in the dungeon. This could be potential spoiler, so it's not really a spoiler though. It's like not really. Maybe it was just me being stupid, so I'm gonna say it anyway because it's not a big spoiler. I thought he's like pretending to be someone else, but it's the king, but he's like pretending to be someone else, and there's like a few instances where he's speaking to Arwen and he is pretending to be someone else, but he's actually the king. But then she discovers that he's the king and she hates him, whereas before she like kind of liked him. But I didn't think it was the king for some reason. Maybe I'm stupid. Like I did think it at first, but then something happened and I was like, oh, that can't be the king. Like why are the soldiers looking for him if that's the king? But apparently they were looking for someone else, and I was like, okay. Kind of slow, like it's slow, but things are happening. It's not slow in the sense that nothing's happening. Like the storyline is moving along nicely, and this is just the first book, and I can see that I will be obsessed. Like by the end of this book I'm going to be obsessed, and I don't know how many books are going to be in the series, but I know for a fact I'm going to be obsessed. I'll update you guys when I've read a bit more. Something about the "who did this to you" line that gets me every time. Who did this to you? Oh, it gets me every time. It really does. So good. It was honestly so good. Is this like a debut novel? Because if this is a debut, this is so well done. Like, this is so well done. So I've gathered my thoughts and myself after reading this. I think I'm going to settle on like, I say I'm going to settle. It's like a 4.5, 4.75. It's not quite a 5-star, but it's setting itself up to be a like 5-star series. And I've done some like research and some digging. This is a debut, and it's also going to be a trilogy, not a duology, I think. I'm hoping trilogy. It makes sense to be trilogy because I still feel like we have a lot to unpack, and I don't think that can be done in only one more book. This whole book was just, it just captivated me from the get-go. I will say, if you've read a lot of fantasy, I wouldn't say it's predictable, but it's like, it's nothing new, if that makes sense. Like, it's your typical fae sort of romantasy with a bit of like gothic sprinkling in it. It's nothing out of this world. It's not gonna blow you away, but you're sure damn well gonna have a good time. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I love world building and plot, but the world building in this was so good. Like, all of the kingdoms are named after stones, and each of the kingdoms have their own sort of like atmosphere, which relates to the stones. Obviously you have the Onyx Kingdom up here, which is like where most of it is set. Obviously Onyx is like this black stone, and everything in the Onyx Kingdom is like dark and gothic, moody. You can imagine that's where Shadow Daddy lives. Then you have Kingdom of Amber, and that's where like Arwen is from, and an amber stone is obviously like this sort of orangey, browny sort of amber colour. The Kingdom of Amber is described to be this sort of like autumnal kind of vibe. It's so hard to explain unless you've read it, but it's like the atmosphere of it all is like described from these stones, and I find that really cool. And I've never read like a gothic fantasy before, and this is like my first proper gothic fantasy, I think. Is it? Oh no, I read like One Dark Window, Two Twos Crowns. That was very gothic. I enjoyed that. So this isn't my first gothic romantasy, but I really enjoy the gothic fantasy side of things. I just find it like really cool the way that everything's described, and like the atmosphere of the Onyx Kingdom. I just wanted to be there, like the dark grungy kind of like mood that it's set, and I just loved it, and I really want to live in the Shadowhold. Arwen is the female main character, as I've already mentioned. She isn't my favourite. She's good. She read very young, if that makes sense. If you read Acta, I'm not like referring it to Acta, this is like got similar vibes to Acta, but not really. Like Feyre from Acta, she reads quite young in the sense of like she's very naive, she's been sheltered her whole life, she hasn't got a clue about like anything other than like her small bubble where she's from. And Arwen is very much like that, like she's been sheltered her whole life, so she read quite young and she was quite naive in some senses. And then I found it quite hard to like look past when it came to like the big scenes and stuff. But I do love like at the end we see her become this. That's all I say is we see her become something. I'm obviously not going to say because I'll spoil it for you. We see her become a woman, let's just say. She becomes a woman. But obviously you can definitely see what's the author called? Kate Golden. You can definitely see that she's like setting Arwen up to be this great badass female main character. Like in the next book or two, like she's really going to become her true self. It's been set up perfectly. Kind of like the Acta books, like with Feyre. Like she definitely reminded me a lot of Feyre and her storyline. And then we have Cain, our Shadow Daddy male main character. That's all I'm gonna say is just like Shadow Daddy. And then we have the side characters. We have Mary and we have Griffin. I love those two. Like we get a little glimpses towards the end when they go into like another kingdom of like the banter that Mary and Griffin have, and I would be so happy if we get like just a little novella or something of Mary and Griffin, because I really like those together and I really hope they get together. So we've got 9 hours and 4 minutes left on the timer. This took me so long to read. I gotta tell you, this is the slowest of slow burns, but in such a good way. Like I ate this slow burn up. Like we only got one scene and it wasn't even a full scene. Like it got interrupted. 1/2 scene. That's all we got this whole book. We had all this angst and like longing and these little subtle touches all throughout the book, and then we had 1/2 scene that got interrupted. How dare she do that? Honestly obsessed. I think I'm gonna settle on 4.75. I didn't get that full 5-star feeling. 5 stars a feeling and it's so hard to explain if you're not a reader, so I'm gonna settle on 4.75 because I didn't get that 5-star feeling. We have got 9 hours left. What are we gonna read? Hopefully in this 9 hours I can get like a book and a half done, but let's get our next book. What's going on in this right now. I hope it gets better because I'm literally falling asleep. DNF for now the Shadow and Bone trilogy because I have no idea what the hell is going on. Not a single clue what's going on. Like my brain can't comprehend the stuff that's going on. Like I got the gist of what's going on, but like the terminology and everything, my brain just can't compute that right now. I need to read this when I'm not in a 24-hour readathon and it's just like a normal day and I can fully focus, and like my brain, like I've read so many words in the last 2 days, so I need to take myself out of this for a while and we're gonna read something else because that was too much. It's taken me 2 hours to read 83 pages because I keep on rereading and rereading and rereading stuff because I do not know what's happening, and then I'm like going on my phone to try and search up like what these terms mean and I can't find anything and it's stressing me out. So we are taking ourselves away from the Grishaverse for now and we're going to choose something else because that no, not for me. Not right now anyway. But we've got... what have we got? Obviously can't read Six of Crows, so we've just got these two that we can choose from. So we've got Lighlark or What Lies Beyond the Veil. I want the shortest possible one because I want to be able to finish it. Not feeling this. Definitely not feeling that. Don't feel like reading a book that includes a lot of sexism. I need some mindless reading. I think this might be good. I want to get it on my Kindle though. Is my Kindle alive? Oh, it's got 3%. I'm gonna buy Lighlark and then read it on my... oh, should I just read it on my Kindle? Now that I've got my Kindle in my hand, I'm like, I love this. Even though I mentioned I've been enjoying reading... I've been enjoying reading on my iPad. I feel like I want to read on my Kindle now that I've got it in my hands. I just have to charge it. It's now a few days later and I haven't had the chance to end this vlog since I finished reading for the 24 hours because I've been working all weekend. So I thought we would just wrap up our little 24-hour readathon of what we read, my final thoughts and my ratings, and just do a little summary even though you've just watched the whole vlog. So obviously I first went in with the fake out. I was like a quarter of the way through this. I think I was probably, I don't remember how far into it I was. I was on chapter 28, I remember I was on chapter 28 and I loved this book. It was so good. I'm not going to speak too much about it because this was for like another video, so just know that I enjoyed it and that's all I'm going to say about it. And then we had our DNF, the Bride of the Shadow King by Sylvia Mercedes. I really didn't like this. I cannot remember how far I got into this. I want to say like 150 pages maybe, but I really wanted to like this, but it was just so disappointing. The characters just fell flat. They had no like sort of substance about them. They just lacked any sort of like depth. Everything was just sort of surface level and the world building was really confusing. Even though I was only like 150 pages in, everything was just really confusing and it was like all over the place. I didn't understand what was going on and the main character was a troll which I couldn't see past. And obviously I got like about 150 pages in. I give it a good chance. I was waiting for something to like grab my attention but nothing did, and I'm so glad I only bought book number 1 because I was almost gonna buy book number 2 and 3 when I was in Waterstones buying this. I'm so glad that I didn't and I restrained myself because this is going straight up onto Vinted. And then we had Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. This was a 4.75. It was so close, so close to being a 5-star. But the female main character just, there was just something, I don't know what it was, why it isn't a 5-star, but there was just something about the female main character. Even though I loved her and I loved her character development and her growth was amazing, loved her, there was just something about her that I couldn't put my finger on, but I'm hoping in the next book I like her a bit more. I think it's because she was a bit naive to certain things and it got a bit infuriating. Not infuriating, that's like the wrong word, that's a bit too extreme. It's just a bit sort of like annoying, but I think like the more that she grew and the more that she learned, and I don't think it was her fault, like she was kept in the dark her whole life about everything around her. I feel like in the next book we're really going to see her growth and like become herself and like become the woman that she is, and I'm really excited for that because it comes out October 8th and I really can't wait. But honestly, everything about this book, like this whole book was like, had like the most rich world building and like atmosphere. I loved it so much, like that gothic feel was amazing. And then we got I didn't read Six of Crows. I tried to read Shadow and Bone. I'm holding this up because I don't own the Shadow and Bone book, but I was not in the mood for that. Like that was a soft DNF that cannot be read in a 24-hour readathon. That needs to be read on its own when I'm not filming like a video and I can fully focus on the book, because there was so much like, I'm gonna say jargon, but like fantasy jargon that I didn't understand. Like there needs to be some sort of a glossary in that book because I had no freaking clue what was going on. And then Lighlark, which I had such high hopes for this. I really wanted this to be a 5-star or at least a 4-star, but it wasn't. It's like a 2.75 3-star. I don't know what I'm gonna settle on, probably like a 3-star, or I don't know, like a 2.75. I feel so bad about this because I really wanted to love it and I know so many people love it, but I think I went into this with such different expectations. I didn't know that this is YA for starters. I thought that's why everyone was raving about it, because of I thought there was like spicy, angsty romance in it, but there was none of that. It's YA. The whole world and like the story and the plot had an interesting premise, and there was like moments where I was genuinely like intrigued by the plot and the story and the characters. It was really creative. Like the world building was really creative. The magic system was really unique, how you had all these different sort of like orders, so to say, and they all had like the different sort of elements of magic. But I also felt like the author was just trying to cram too much into this book, and I feel like you could really see that this is a debut novel. It showed in the writing style, in my opinion. And like by no means am I some like literary mastermind. I am not at all. Like I'm dyslexic. I do not know literature world. Like I cannot critique any kind of paper or book or anything like that. I also have read a lot of books in my time, so I know when it's a good book and when writing is good. And yeah, I just know good from bad, and you can just tell in this that it is a debut novel by the way that she's trying to like cram everything in, and like how it was just a bit all over the place, in my opinion. Can see why people love it. Like some people can see past those like bad writing styles, but for me sometimes it just, I cling on to those little things and then they irk me, and then I can't enjoy the book as much. Speaking about like being all over the place, like the world or like the pacing of the book was just really inconsistent, and like I felt like some parts that weren't that important were dragging on for too long, and then you had some really important parts where like looked past and they were just skipped over, and I'm like, wait, rewind, can we go back to that a sec? And I'm not too sure if I'm gonna read Nightbin. I don't know. I don't think I will, to be honest. I think I'm just gonna give this series a DNF, which is really sad because I really wanted to enjoy this. But apparently like my friend Danny said that, I think she rated Lighlark a 2-star as well, but she said Nightbin is so much better. So I might give her a go, maybe, and if I like it, I might enjoy it. Maybe we'll give her a go. But I'm definitely not gonna buy the 3rd book until I read Nightbin. I'm gonna restrain myself from that because I might not even enjoy Nightbin. To be honest, I don't even remember what happened in that. It was a few days ago. I feel like I've lived a lifetime since I read that book, but it was so like thing that I just don't even remember it. I think I'm gonna say 2.75 because there was some good aspects of it. Like the characters, the plot was good. Not the plot, but like the world itself and like the premise of it was good, and it had potential. It just fell flat a bit for me, which I'm really sad about. But that was all of my books that I read in my 24-hour readathon. I feel like we had a good run books here. We read I don't know how many pages. It feels like millions, honestly. We had some really bad reads and we had some really good reads, so it wouldn't be a Brie reading vlog without a few DNFs and a few 2 stars. I feel like I'm so harsh, but I'm also really in tune with what I like and what I don't like, and if something doesn't live up to my expectations, then it's a no for me. Like I think my average rating is like a 3.5 star, but I also feel like I give out 5 stars and 4.5 stars like a lot because I do read good books, but then the books that I don't enjoy I usually just give like a 3 star or like a 2.5 3 star. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, enough rambling because I feel like this vlog is going to be very, very long. And before we go, I would like to thank Beautiful Earth Boutique for sending me all these beautiful pieces, and don't forget you can get 25% off site-wide with my code BRIE25 which will obviously get you 25% off, but I leave a link for their website down below, and they've honestly got some amazing pieces, so thank you again Beautiful Earth Boutique. And while you're down there clicking on the link, don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment if you've read any of those and what your thoughts were as well, because I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.